Okay, guys. So, you know those people who read celebrity gossip on Sunday mornings? That used to be me, but honestly, I am not one of them anymore. I have become this nerd who is knee deep in McKinsey trend reports, Mintel forecast, ASCM data charts, and I have been triple highlighting for you guys everything that might tell me what is next in wellness. Hi, I'm your friend Nick, founder of Health Collective. As you guys know, I am a former corporate marketing exec, and sometimes all I did was sift through reports to drive trends for innovation. And so that's what I have been doing as I have turned into founder of Health Collective and Peptide Princess. And today I'm bringing you a front row seat to the future of female health. So before Health Collective, like I mentioned, I used to lead marketing and innovation for companies like Kraft and RBI and Good Life Fitness in the corporate world. And something we always used to do to predict what products, what packaging, what campaigns would really resonate, what would be the next big thing, was trend forecasting. I know you guys know that people are trend forecasting fashion and the color of the year. Well, this episode is really all about forecasting what's to come from health, wellness, weight loss, and fitness in 2026. So I am using my superpowers at forecasting. And let me tell you, I am so excited. The trends are wild, and some of them we've talked about before. So we've talked about peptides that act like personal trainers for your cells. All that, know your hormones better than your ex ever did, and let's talk about fiber maxing. Fiber maxing is the new TikTok trend. Yes, fiber maxing is a thing, and we are going to get into it. So if you've been feeling like the wellness world changes faster than your skincare routine, don't worry. I've scoured the research. I have filtered the hype. And today I'm handing you the top 5 health trends that will define 2026. So we're talking prevention, we're talking peptides, and a whole lot of cellular glow. And so guys, let's buckle up. Let's start the trend cast, and the future of wellness starts now. So let's talk about this big shift and why it matters. So for years, wellness was reactive. We all know it. We would get a symptom and we would try and fix it. We grew up like that. We got a cold, our mom would give us some medication, some children's Tylenol, or if we need antibiotics. So we were really treating the symptoms, and we weren't really taught to do anything different. We would even use these old wives' tales to help us feel better. But everything that we're seeing from McKinsey's Future of Wellness report and in Mintel's beauty forecast says one thing loud and clear: prevention is the new prescription. I love this because I have been practicing this for so long. I've been saying, I want to get stronger for my family. I want to make sure that I maintain my muscle mass before I have to worry that I've lost it. So let me say this again for the kids in the back who didn't hear me, or those in the car who weren't really focused. Prevention is the new prescription. The global wellness market, guys, is worth over $2 trillion and growing. And women, that's us, especially Gen X and millennial women, are leading that shift. And so we're done waiting for burnout, waiting for menopause, waiting for weight gain to tell us it's time to act. We're actually using science to future-proof our bodies right now. So what I'm thinking is that trend number 1 is that the prevention revolution is here today. So the focus is expanding. It's not just about weight loss. It's not just about looking good on the outside, but it's about cellular vitality. If you're feeling good on the inside, if you're nourishing your body on the inside, honestly, it's going to shine on the outside. So yes, cellular vitality, hormonal harmony, brain clarity, and emotional resilience are so incredibly important when it comes to prevention. So it's really interesting because I always talk about the fact that, growing up, I was chasing skinny. I wanted to be smaller and thinner and prettier, and it was all external that the things that I was seeking. And really, everything started to change for me, including how I looked on the outside when I started to treat my inside first, about the cellular vitality, about the harmony of my hormones. So you've probably heard me say it before, but your metabolism is your mirror. If your gut-mind connection is off, if something is off inside your body, it will show on the outside as well. So in 2026, your health will not be judged by the number on the scale. It'll be your metabolic age. Has anyone tested or learned about their metabolic age? It really is cool. So I have a Hume Smart Scale. I can link it in the show notes. But according to my Hume scale, I am 36, which is great because I'm in my 40s. So I'm really happy to be in my 30s. But I am all in for helping my metabolic age decline. I want to be Benjamin Button, guys. So one piece of advice I do have is do the right work to help yourself preventatively before something happens. You know what I mean? So the first thing I want to talk about in terms of actual prevention practices are peptides. Wow, that's a lot of P's there. Peptides and the power of cellular youth. So you guys know my clients call me the peptide princess. So I am going to go in and talk about this as one of the key trends for 2026. I know you didn't expect anything else from me, but guys, for real, peptides are the headline of this decade. I'm telling you. And 2026 is when they're going to go from Hollywood secret to your household, to the household world. We're seeing therapeutic peptides like NAD, GHKCU, BPC157, the list goes on. They are going to become staples in longevity protocols. We talked about cellular regeneration, cellular health, mitochondrial health. NAD is going to give that to you. These are actually amazing because peptides are going to make sure that your signals in your body are signaling again. And when you begin taking these peptides, the best part is they are naturally occurring in your body. So these peptides already exist. You have GHK and NAD in your body. It's just that as we age, sometimes levels of these peptides are depleted. And so what do we need to do? We need to be recharging that battery life so that we can be as close to 100% as possible. And so taking peptides is basically a recharge. We are restoring ourselves and we are restoring a little bit of our youth as we do that. We're topping up our NAD or our GHK or our BPC157. And what that means is that our skin is going to look great. We're going to have energy. We're going to have cellular health. We're going to ensure that we heal quickly, especially if you're someone who works out a lot. You know I do. BPC157 has saved me. I am running super fast again. I can go to Barry's again. Shout out to Carrie, who is one of my favorites at Barry's Aventura. So you guys know that exercise, fitness, movement is such an incredibly important part of my world. But talk about prevention. Let's get moving. And if moving isn't comfortable, perhaps we explore peptides and the power of cellular youth. So what's exciting is how they support muscle loss prevention and metabolic reset. And those are two areas that you know women lose fast with age and stress. Everybody's talking about muscle mass, protein, speeding up our metabolism. These peptides are the shit, guys. These peptides are what is going to keep you muscle mass full and with a super speedy metabolism. And here's the kicker, guys. I want to repeat this phrase a couple times. It's not about vanity. It's about vitality. Again, it's not about vanity. It's about vitality. It's about cellular resilience. So think of peptides as part of this preventative toolkit, the next generation of anti-aging that's actually going to be about aging better. It's not going to be about hiding wrinkles, but shout out Botox. No problem. Love it. Into it. But at the end of the day, I want to age better. I want to be full of energy. I want to feel amazing. So guys, the good news is ladies, I know you feel me. Like for me personally, I'm vain as shit. Like I want to look good too. If you fuel your body from the inside out, the changes you see on the inside are miraculous and it's pretty fabulous, but that will automatically translate to the outside. So before I go any further, I'm going to take a quick break from our sponsors. Okay, so we're coming back to it, and McKinsey is calling the next era in health proactive health, and employers are calling it preventative wellness. So what I'm calling it is self-insurance for your future. You want to be able to carry your groceries in, climb a flight of stairs, play with your kids and grandkids, or just keep up with your kids as they're going and doing anything that they want to do. Employers are actually beginning to cover preventative care for women, which I love. And that is everything from hormone screening to menopause support, because it saves billions of dollars in the long term, and people are starting to really understand that. But prevention isn't just about avoiding disease. It's about building health. And so my protocol, particularly at Health Collective, includes Dutch tests and functional health tests, because how many times have you gone to your doctor and you test everything looks fine, but you feel like shit? And honestly, that's because from a functional health perspective, there are varying levels that are considered abnormal in functional health, but completely normal in your GP's office. So testing biomarkers before you feel off is really, really important. Strength training before you lose muscle. Again, we talked about it, really important. And using your peptides before your hormones crash is going to be a key to helping you feel better. So years ago, when I turned, I think I want to say 32, my best friend, shout out at Dr. Andrea, who is amazing. She's in Toronto. She told me to start my Botox early to prevent wrinkles. So now, 10 years later, I'm not only thinking about living wrinkle-free, thank God, because of her. I also want to feel good. I want to feel pain-free. I want to have energy. I want to have great sleep. I want to have no brain fog. And all of these things are going to come with preventative medicine. So we've learned so many new things about the body and how it works and how to prevent disease. So let's use these learnings to our advantage so that we can live great lives into the future. And as we age, it truly will feel like age is just a number. So I envision myself running around with my grandkids, still running that 10K on the daily. I want to travel and feel great while I'm traveling, and I want to learn new things in the decades to come. So isn't that where you see yourselves too? No matter what age you are, if you're in your 20s or you're in your 30s, if you think about your future, isn't all of that what you want? If you wait until your 50s or 60s to think about bone density or metabolism or muscle tone, you're already behind. And so that's not a big deal. If you're in your 50s now and you want to start, I say go for it. But if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and you want to start now, now's the time. Now's the time to leverage all the tools that we've learned about to live a longer, better, beautiful life. So the message for 2026 is simple. Start now, age better, live longer, and live better while you're at it. So that is super duper important. So the next trend I want to talk about is pretty cool. It's called the Her Health movement, and it is on fire. So we've all heard about the fact that historically medical studies were done on men and women were treated more like small men, but we are starting to actually change all of that. We are unique beings. We know this. We have significant differences, not just physically, but hormonally, physiologically, psychologically. The list goes on. So where we're starting 2026 is we're going to see an explosion of female-specific programs. You guys, applause here. We're going to cue the applause. Female-specific programs, cycle syncing, menopausal nutrition, bioidentical hormone optimization, and microbiome balance for fertility and for mood. So even aligning what workout we do and what we eat with our cycles is going to be talked about. And I think we're already starting, and this is amazing, right? So recently, a study was done regarding weight loss response to GLP-1s in postmenopausal women with and without hormone therapy. And women actually on hormone therapy lost more weight. So this is the kind of clinical data that we need to ensure that we continue to test things with women. And so that's what's going to blow up in 2026 is the Her Health movement. Another interesting fact is that historically, only 8.8% of the National Institute of Health grant spending from 2013 to 2023 was explicitly focused on women's health. So the good news for us is that in 2026, the American Heart Association is actually launching an RFP, a request for proposal titled Redefining Women's Health from Heart to Head to Hormones. These signs are amazing that finally the medical community is taking us as women as an important differentiated part of humanity. And we are not small men. So we need specific studies for us, for our cardiovascular health, for our hormonal health, for our menopausal health. And there are so many trailblazers. So that is just going to explode in 2026. So I myself am so excited because I already have a couple of conferences booked into 2026 that are specifically designed for learning about women's health. So one is called Transforming Women's Health in 2026. And the second one is called the World Summit on Women's Health and Gynecology. So there are more and more conferences and studies and experiments being done specifically so that we can learn about ourselves and so that we can use all these learnings for preventative medicine and for treatment. So I am definitely here for it. We have used male data for way too long to treat female bodies. So now the science is finally catching up and all of these studies are quite amazing. We're expected to see, personalized AI tools for tracking hormones. We're already seeing that. The Aura Ring's amazing. Obviously, we're thinking about metabolic responses in real time and stress load with some of the AI technology that we're seeing. So tracking your period, your sleep, your mood, your metabolism, all of that in a connected and finally measurable way is going to empower us to truly understand what's happening in our bodies so that we can work with it, not against it. Oh my gosh, for so long, I wouldn't care what time of the month, where I was in my cycle, how I was feeling. I wasn't listening to my body. I was thinking, I'm going to run, I'm going to lift heavy, I'm going to work out in the same way every day because I didn't know better. But now that I'm starting to learn about what type of workouts work with my body at different times, I am learning so much more. And I feel so much better. So that is just one tiny example or a few tiny examples of how focusing on women's health and learning about women's bodies is really going to help us in the future. So the next topic I would love to talk about is something that's getting trendier. I think it's trendier than green juice and more important than ever. It's all about the gut and brain axis. I'm sure you've heard a little bit about this, some sprinklings here about the microbiome or the gut microbiome and the gut-brain connection. So in case you guys missed the memo, your gut is not just a digestion machine. It's basically your second brain. Anyone here that the gut is the second brain? Yeah, definitely. Me too. So it makes about 95% of your serotonin, the chemical, as you guys know, that helps regulate your mood, your appetite, and your sleep. So if you are unhappy in your gut, your head is often unhappy too. And that's where that connection kind of comes in. So researchers are calling it the microbiome mind connection, and it is one of the hottest fields in wellness right now. I know a lot of people are thinking about probiotics and a lot of people are thinking about microbiome in a bit of a different way. But it's really called psychobiotics, which is really interesting. So those are going to be a new wave of supplements that target gut bacteria to support mood, and they're expected to double in popularity in 2026 and beyond. So what does that mean for you? So it probably means that your probiotic isn't just for bloating anymore. It is a mental health investment. Continue to eat those fermented foods. Continue to ensure that you get the fiber that you need because it is so important to to ensure a healthy gut microbiome, healthy flora in the gut. And in addition to that, if you are looking at improving or healing inflamed lining, BPC 157 is absolutely a solution for that. So the right combination of pre and probiotics can definitely influence how your body handles stress hormones like cortisol, blood sugar spikes, and even hormonal balance across your cycle. So obviously, this is really important for all women, but if you are someone who is on a GLP-1 or on peptides, your appetite changes, and obviously there is appetite suppression. So ensuring that you have fiber in your diet and your nutrient intake is up is really, really important so that the GLP-1s don't actually throw your microbiome off balance, because then you'll be losing weight and you'll, feel confident, but you won't feel good in your body. And at the end of the day, isn't that just the goal? So speaking of fiber, let's give her the crown that she deserves. So fiber, as you know, feeds good gut bacteria. It stabilizes your blood sugar. It reduces inflammation. It even supports hormone detoxification, which is new news to me. I just learned that researching for this episode. So it actually detoxes through the liver and the colon. But actually, fiber can bind to excess estrogen and actually take it out of the body. So really, really important for a lot of reasons, not just to kind of colon broom, if you will. So in 2026, the trend isn't keto. It isn't low carb. It is fiber maxing, guys. This is a biohack that is so easy. You don't have to buy anything special. You just have to go to the grocery store, add some fiber to your diet. I would say that in 2026, from everything I've read, expect to see new fiber-powered functional snacks. It's not going to be your grandma's like all brand cereal from 1998. It's really going to be fiber-powered, focused snacks, hydration, prebiotic blends, microbiome-driven nutrition apps. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how all of that evolves. And I think something really important to remember is your gut is in a constant conversation with your brain. That's why you can feel anxiety in your stomach when you think about like those butterflies, or sometimes a stressful week can do a mess with your digestive system, right? So you think about those moments, but you don't really think about this gut-mind connection, but there really is a close connection. So it's really important, as we talk about prevention and cellular health, that you start with your gut, because if your gut is inflamed or your cells in your gut are inflamed, it's bad news bears. So if you want glowing skin and balanced hormones and better energy, I think we should start with our gut microbiome. It is kind of the boss of the entire system, if you will. You guys know what it feels like. If your tummy's off, if your stomach hurts, just everything is not right. So for 2026, the wellness rule is really heal the gut, calm the mind, and balance the body, but start with healing the gut. And maybe eat that chia pudding after all, because it's really, really important. So I love that we've kind of taken all of these different trends and we've also put them back together, right? So it's about preventative medicine. It's about taking peptides to heal your body from the inside out, including your gut lining. It is about nourishing our bodies from the inside out. It is so simple and easy to really nourish the body. And so I know it's easy. And when I say that, it's simple, but maybe it's not so easy because we're going to restaurants and we're eating fast food and we're eating packaged goods. But honestly, from someone who's done this, if you change the way you eat to whole foods, your gut will thank you. Your microbiome will thank you. You will feel so much better. Forget like the benefits of weight loss, the benefits of feeling good from the inside out with something as simple as eating and nourishing your body with whole foods, eliminating seed oils, eliminating packaged goods, and focusing on real from the earth food is really, really going to help you with your gut microbiome. You don't need anything fancy. You don't have to go out and buy prebiotics and probiotics and supplements, although you can, and I probably will, but it's really, really important to just focus on the basics. It's, super simple if you think about it, and honestly, give it a couple weeks. It might take 6 weeks. And that's why, side note, and like I'm going to plug Thinner here, because if you do Thinner program, which is a homeopathic weight loss program for 43 days, you are detoxing your liver and kidneys, you are eating all natural foods, and you are literally restoring your gut microbiome in those 43 days, which is why after your homeostasis is completely transformed into a healthier version where you've never felt better. And if you did do blood work, again, your doc would see incredible changes and results. So let's talk a little bit about takeaways from this episode. But before we do that, I'm going to take a really, really short break. Okay. So we're back and we're talking takeaways on this one. So your gut is your second brain. That is your takeaway. When your digestion is off, so is your mood, so is your energy, so are your hormones. So let's always think about our gut as our second brain and understand the why behind how we're feeling. So feed your microbiome daily. That's takeaway number 2. Thinking prebiotics and fiber and probiotics. It's not just supplements, but real, diverse, colorful food. Next one is gut balance equals hormone balance. A healthy microbiome helps manage cortisol, estrogen, and inflammation. So that's your core trio for weight, mood, and vitality. So please focus on improving your gut microbiome, ensuring that you get the fiber you need. And if you feel off, if you seem off, then reach out to someone who knows a little bit more about the gut microbiome. Feel free to reach out to us at the Health Collective. Anything that you need to feel better from the inside out is really, really important. So speaking of biohacking, so the next trend that I saw in a ton of those reports that I sifted through was biohacking tech and personalized wellness. We've been talking about this for a really long time. It is definitely an approach that we take at Health Collective. We want everything to be personalized and customized for you specifically, but biohacking used to sound like something out of a sci-fi movie. You're thinking like men in black t-shirts doing cryotherapy. They're in chambers. They're injecting themselves with ketones and tinctures. And, you know, they're talking about how many minutes they're spending in an ice bath. But in 2026, I feel like biohacking is getting a little bit more feminine, a little bit more intuitive, and a little bit more intelligent. So the American College of Sports Medicine lists wearable technology as the number 1 trend again. So years ago, you know, Apple Watch and Garmin's and Whoop and Oura Rings, years ago, this was the number 1 trend. It is still the number 1 trend, but the story goes so much farther beyond counting your steps. We're entering this age of precision health where your data becomes your daily feedback loop, which I love. So I'm talking about continuous glucose monitors that let you know when your blood sugar is rising before you crash. And that is for everyone. So Marky's had a CGM, you know, my son Marky is a type 1 diabetic. He's had CGMs from the moment he was diagnosed when he was 8, 3 and a bit years ago. But CGMs are actually becoming a little bit more mainstream. And it's so important to understand when your blood sugar spikes, when your insulin is kind of doing its job. And the next thing that we're going to hear a lot about is heart rate variability trackers. So it's actually something that we have on our Apple Watch now, but no one's really talking about how resilient your nervous system really is. And so these interesting new tools that we have are going to help us dramatically. Even AI-driven nutrition apps that learn your unique patterns, and they can share your macro trends just by taking a picture of your meal. So the Thinner app that we pair with the Thinner program, you take a picture. It's super cool because even if you take a picture of something super niche, it's going to know what it is, which is pretty phenomenal AI technology. And it counts the calories, it counts the macros, and it lets you know how healthy or how good that meal might be for you specifically. So soon we're going to have personalized dashboards showing everything from hormonal fluctuations to inflammation levels. And I love that they'll integrate with your sleep data, your stress score, and even your menstrual cycle. So, okay, imagine opening your wellness app in 2026 And it says something along the lines of, hey, Nicole, you're ovulating. Boost your magnesium today, eat salmon, skip the high intensity cardio, and go for a 45-minute walk instead. That is not science fiction, guys. It's biointelligent living, and it's already here. But in 2026, it's going to be blowing up even more. And what's really exciting is that women are finally at the center of this evolution. For decades, studies and tracking tech were built on male data, but now companies are designing wearables, designing peptides, designing nutrition plans that recognize women's unique biological rhythms. And so if we do talk about peptides again for a second, because this is where performance meets prevention. In 2026, peptides like MOTS, CJC, they're being combined with smart tech so that we could have stacked biohacks. And we're pairing cellular optimization with live recovery metrics. And we're actually seeing how these peptides are impacting our health, our recovery. Think of it as your mitochondria meeting your smartwatch, which is so cool. I love that something that I am obsessed with is my Apple Watch. I wear it every day. When I go out to a fancy party, I kid you not, and my friends will attest to this, I put my Apple Watch on my ankle if I want to wear like a fancy nice watch so that I can continue tracking all of my different metrics, including my steps, because I just think it is so important. I love the data. I'm a data nerd. I'm a data geek. That's how I opened up this episode. So understanding and knowing your data and using it to stay ahead is so cool. But at the end of the day, here's the truth bomb, and I want to share this with all of you. All of the data in the world is useless if you don't listen to your body. Data should be a compass, not a cage. And, understanding how your body feels, even if the numbers are different or even if you're not understanding the data, is super critically important. And biohacking works when it supports intuition. It cannot replace it. And so the future of wellness isn't about obsessing over every metric. And I've had to learn that slowly because I was obsessed with number of steps and what my HRV was. It's about designing a life really that supports longevity without the obsession, because the obsession can actually make you crazy. Like, what is your sleep score today versus yesterday? Like, I didn't sleep at all yesterday, so my sleep score is 0, but I'm still here having fun with you guys. So the next wave of wellness is personalization with purpose. So we're seeing everything from genetic-based peptide protocols to personalized sleep protocols to hydration algorithms to AI-curated supplement stacks that are just adjusted daily based on your biometric feedback. That is what the future looks like. It's not about perfection. It's just about precision, tailored, sustainable, and empowered. So when I say something like biohack smarter, I don't mean do more. It's not about doing all of the biohacks in the world. It really means do what matters to you. If you're feeling like you want to really focus on your gut microbiome, focus on that and hack that first. Don't do everything, because honestly, it can get exhausting and then you could just quit everything. The best form of biohacking really isn't in a lab. It's how you design your habits, your environment, and your mindset every single day. I remember I did an episode on sleep, and honestly, that's like the number one biohack, which is why I need to take it better. I need to do something about my sleep because I don't. Anyways, for the listeners on this particular trend, here are 3 takeaways. Number 1, data is the new doctor. Forget necessarily running to the doctor at every impasse. Think about your data. But at the end of the day, intuition is still the boss. So I think using tech as guidance, not gospel, is really, really important. But data is like the new doctor, which is pretty cool. Precision is more important than perfection. So tailor your wellness to your unique biology, not generic trends, not what your girlfriend does, not what you think your husband should do. It really is about your unique biology. And I love this one. Biohacking is going feminine. So the future belongs to women who combine science with self-trust. So trust yourself, listen to your intuition, because it's almost always right. And at the end of the day, when you can, combine that with science. So the final thing that I wanted to talk to you about is how to prepare for 2026 now. Like, we are in the final months of the year, and here is what I really want to leave you with. And I wanted to boil it down to a few simple things. So number 1, Think cellular, not cosmetic. I know we're all chasing youth and beauty and we want to look great, but don't chase youth from the outside. Build it from within. So important. The second one is invest in prevention. So run the labs, strength train, explore functional labs or Dutch tests, feed your gut, and prioritize sleep and stress management because prevention is the best medicine. We've heard that before. And experiment with smart science. So I love data, like I said, and I love novel ideas that can simply help me feel better on the day-to-day. And I love that I can recharge my body with something that's already in it to get it to maximum efficiency. So whether it's peptides or wearables or personalized nutrition, I think it's really important to test, to track, and to learn your body. So what I want you guys to remember is longevity isn't about living forever. It's about living well for longer. And 2026 is coming. Your cells are listening. So I would say, let's make them glow. Am I right? So I'm going to close off with this. If today's episode lit a spark for you, please share it with a friend who needs a reminder that her best years are ahead of her, not behind her. How many friends do you know that are like, oh my God, I'm aging, I'm getting old, I feel old? None of that. Send them this episode. If you'd like, follow me at healthcollective_USA or Nicole Peckerman and join our community of women who are done with quick fixes and they're ready for lifelong vitality. And if you want to learn more about anything, these trends, making them a reality for your body, any of the peptides, head to the link in the show notes to learn more about our Supernova experience. That's our flagship program for a total reset and reignition. And I'm Nicole Peckerman, and this was The Healthy Pod. Remember, the future is female, preventative, and peptidal. So can't wait to see what happens in 2026. Thanks, guys.